Remember being a kid in the 90s? We were told we could save the world. Just recycle, turn off the lights, and don't waste water. The message was simple. If we all did our part, the adults would handle the rest. We believed it. We drew happy earths in school, nagged our parents to recycle, and took our responsibility seriously. Fast forward to today, 2026. The world we were promised, nowhere in sight. Instead, we're living with disaster headlines, heat domes, floods, wildfires, emergencies that make recycling feel laughably small. The advice to do your part has been replaced by frantic alerts and insurance bills for homes in places that never used to flood or burn. The scale of the crisis is overwhelming, and the solutions we were offered as kids seem almost insulting. It's like being told you can stop a charging rhinoceros by waving a recycling bin. The gap between what we were promised and what we got is massive. We did our part. Where was the big picture plan? While we were busy sorting yogurt containers, who was actually in charge? The reality we inherited is nothing like the story we were sold. The question now, what happened to the grown-ups' plan? And why are we left holding the bag? The grown-ups were talking, a lot. For decades, governments mastered the art of climate promises. Remember the Earth Summit in 1992? World leaders signed treaties, made headlines, and promised to stabilize emissions. Then came Kyoto in 1997. Binding targets, big speeches, and a sense that real change was coming. But most of these agreements were long on ambition, short on action. The deadlines were always decades away, safely beyond any politician's term. It was a system designed for accountability avoidance, take credit now, leave the hard work for someone else. Each new conference just pushed the deadline further. The targets sounded bold, but the plans were vague, voluntary, or full of escape clauses. It was a factory for promises, not results. While politicians congratulated themselves, emissions kept rising. The real work was always delayed. The bill quietly passed to the next generation. The illusion of progress was powerful, but the reality was relentless inaction. We inherited the consequences of decades of empty pledges. The climate crisis didn't sneak up on us. It was ignored, postponed, and handed down. And now, we're the ones paying for it. When climate promises finally became laws, they were riddled with loopholes. The legislative process turned bold ideas into watered-down, compromise-ridden bills. Offsets let polluters pay for tree planting elsewhere instead of cutting their own emissions. On paper, they're carbon neutral. In reality, not much changes. Deadlines for real action were set decades in the future, locking in years of business as usual. These laws looked good, but did little to slow emissions. Politicians claimed victory. Industries dodged real change. Every loophole was a missed opportunity. Every delay a bigger problem for us. The result, a climate policy full of holes and a crisis that kept growing. Behind every loophole, you'll find lobbyists, especially from fossil fuel industries, working to protect profits. Their strategy delay, weaken, or kill any law that threatened their bottom line. They donated to politicians, funded think tanks, and spread doubt about climate science. They framed the debate as jobs versus the environment, making action seem risky. When climate bills appeared, lobbyists demanded exemptions, offsets, and long timelines. Politicians, under pressure, watered down laws to avoid industry backlash. The long-term costs, floods, fires, famine, were treated as distant problems. The immediate costs to corporations, treated as urgent. The result, our future became a bargaining chip in backroom deals. The real bill for inaction was quietly passed to us. We're left paying for decades of delay. The system worked for them, until the consequences landed on our doorstep. Now, the bill is due. Millennials face the economic fallout of climate inaction, right now. Home insurance is skyrocketing or disappearing in disaster-prone areas, making homeownership a distant dream. Food prices swing wildly as droughts and storms disrupt agriculture. Jobs in farming, tourism, and construction are threatened by climate chaos. Governments borrow billions for disaster relief and adaptation. Debt will be repaying for decades. We're rebuilding what could have been prevented, paying for a party we never attended. The traditional path to stability, home, career, savings, is undermined by a crisis we didn't create. We're the first generation expected to be worse off than our parents, with climate change as a major reason. The price for delay is coming out of our paychecks, opportunities, and peace of mind. It's our problem now. As the crisis grew, a new narrative emerged: the personal carbon footprint. BP popularized it, encouraging us to obsess over our own emissions. Suddenly, the focus shifted from systemic failures to individual choices. Did you bring your reusable bag? It was a brilliant distraction, making us feel guilty for small things while big polluters kept operating. Yes, personal choices matter, but they're a fraction of the solution. Most emissions come from energy, industry, and agriculture, systems individuals can't control. The carbon footprint narrative exaggerated our role and let the real culprits off the hook. It created a culture of shame and blame, dividing people and stalling real action. Every minute spent agonizing over a hamburger was a minute not spent demanding systemic change. The result? A psychological trap that delayed real reform. Let's be clear, this isn't your fault. Millennials were kids when the most important climate decisions were made. We didn't write the laws, hire the lobbyists, or design the fossil-fueled economy. Yet we've been blamed, called lazy, entitled apathetic. It's a convenient way for those in power to dodge responsibility. In reality, millennials have organized, marched, and demanded change. We're the generation of climate strikes and the Sunrise Movement. We've woven climate action into our lives more than any before us. The crisis is the result of decades-old policy choices, not our personal failings. Blaming us is a distortion of history, one designed to protect the powerful. We're not the problem, we're the ones left to solve it. Every delay on climate action was intergenerational theft. Previous generations enjoyed cheap energy, leaving us a legacy of debt and crisis. It's like inheriting a house with a crumbling foundation and a repair bill 10 times higher than it should have been. Our inheritance is anxiety, instability, and tough choices about where and how to live. The freedom to plan for the future has been eroded. We're forced to spend our energy cleaning up a mess we didn't make. Our potential is constrained by past failures. This isn't just environmental, it's about justice and a stolen future. Why revisit this history? Because understanding it is the only way to change the future. If we don't learn from decades of delay and distraction, we'll repeat them. We must scrutinize every new climate promise. Look for real enforcement, not just rhetoric. We have to be the most informed, demanding generation yet. This isn't cynicism, it's survival. The fight for a stable climate will define our lives. We know who's responsible and how they did it. Our final exam is the future of the planet, and we can't afford to fail.